Anybody? I don't see.
Yep, we're going. Yeah, who are we missing? Tom. Missing Tom.
Okay. All right, it's 7:06 p.m. March 16th, 2021. This is a Zoom meeting. Time to call the City of Torrington Inland Wetlands Commission meeting to order. Serving on the commission this evening are members Jane Baker, Christine Altman, Tom Tillman's not here.
Tom's on planning and zoning now.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Tim
he?
Storty,
Yeah.
myself, Jay Bate, and I think I named everybody, didn't I?
Yes.
And also present is Jeremy Leifert, Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer and Planner, I guess.
Mention you, Bill.
But
Bill looked like he thought his name wasn't mentioned, but it was.
okay, next is minutes for approval for the 12/15/20 meeting.
Move that we approve the minutes.
A motion. I have a second.
I made the second.
Okay. All in favor, Jane,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and myself is aye. Motion carries. Next is old business. Show cause hearing. Property owner Ron Raymond. Address Felicity Lane, Assessor Map 101, Block 011, Lot 008. Violation grading and material processing within a regulated area without permits. No site plans available yet.
Right. So so I haven't talked to him in a couple of months, but I did go by there probably 2 weeks ago, and everything was still, we were in the middle of a cold snap and everything was still frozen with about 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. I haven't been up there. I have an idea that it'll hopefully be in there soon. We're asking him to give us plans, even if it's just a site plan to finish regrading his road, that he needs to get his wetlands. He has a wetland survey done. It's just not on a plan. So he needs to just get it on a plan and get it to us just to satisfy the terms of our, what we want to lift the cease and desist order. And if he has some further plans down the road, he can just modify those plans. I think for now, we at least need to be okay with his crossing and anything that's within a regulated, that 75-foot regulated area, or 100-foot for the water courses. So, with the snow gone now, I think we really ought to start pushing him to get what we need here, because I know he's going to want to go in there and start working again soon.
Yeah, I agree. We kind of gave him
The whole winter.
a long grace period. I thought he was going to get right on it. It sounded like he was gonna, but it seems to be dragging out.
And the thing is, it didn't have anything to really do with site work at this point. It just had to do with him getting a plan together for us.
Right.
And he hasn't done that. So, I mean, our next step, if he's not satisfying the terms of our cease and desist, is to hand it to the Corporation Council to, step things up.
Make sure you let him know when you talk to him. That's our next step.
I haven't really talked to him in probably at least 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just after New Year's. This was the last time I spoke with him.
Okay.
So, all right.
All right. So
Accept the application.
Well, I think we're just still leaving this tabled.
Table it for the next meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll move that we table the show cause hearing on Ron Raymond.
I'll second.
motion and second. All in favor, Jane,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Motion carries. Next is new business. Adoption of upland wetlands maps, set public hearing date.
So I haven't really talked about this too much, but So the reason why I'm trying to bring this up for actually accepting the map is in practice if someone's got any kind of development, say even you're doing a subdivision or you're building a single family house, when we approve a plan, we basically approve an amendment to the wetlands map as well. But we're approving amendments, but not updating our official map. So since I started, for the last almost 2 years now, every time I come across something or anytime we get a new application, I'm handing those maps to Dave Scherf, our GIS guru in the engineering department, to update our map. If you don't mind me sharing the screen, I just want to show you a couple things here. Let me make sure I have the right thing up here first. Hang on one sec. So I just zoomed in on, where's my screen sharing? Oh, there we go. I just zoomed in on one spot on this map. So you guys we're familiar with this one. This is the Greenbrier area. This kind of shows, kind of in a zoomed in way, what we've been doing with the map here. So these crosshatched, the solid colors, the purples and whatever, those are the USDA soils maps, the really rough 1 to 24,000 USDA soil types. The lighter blue with the stripes through them are actual wetland surveys. So the way Connecticut law works, and some of you have been through this enough times, is Connecticut's got its own kind of way of doing things with soil types in wetlands. So anywhere where we've had these USDA soil maps and we have a survey, we're basically substituting the wetland surveys for the USDA maps. So if I flip over to the website, you guys can see that, right? When I flipped it over?
Mm-mm.
No.
I didn't? Okay, let me then maybe I got to do a different screen share. Hang on one sec. Oh, it didn't like something I did here. Hang on. There we go. Try this again. You can see that now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the same area on our GIS map, and on the map layers. Oh, hold on, this thing's in the way. On the map layers, we had him add a thing for surveyed wetlands. You can see that one that's checked off.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, when we turn these layers on and off. Of course, it's not going to. Oh, there we go. Did you all see that pop up?
Yeah.
So you can see how even in Greenbrier, how a little bit different it is than the USDA soils maps.
Mm-hmm.
So we're basically in these spots where we actually have surveys, we're substituting these. And you've got, I think you all got sent out a full, I mean, it's a scanned copy, or a digital copy of the whole city. So that's what I'm asking to do is to open up public hearing so we can just accept the overall map as it stands right now. Obviously there's going to be more updates, but maybe like a year down the road, year and a half down the road, whatever, as we get a bunch more updates done, we can reaccept the map again. Because I think at this point where I'm just playing catch up as I come across, like maybe I take it out for review for some other reason, or, for whatever reason. Every time I find a wetland survey, I'm just, handing it down the hall to be updated. So I've gotten, a good chunk of the larger, more recent subdivisions, recent being like the last 30 years, subdivisions.
Oh.
Well, when we talk about surveys, that's so I got a bunch of those done to the point where I think we've we got at least the big stuff done.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
The map you sent us is the same thing that was on the website for the inland wetlands. Commission, right? Because I downloaded the map that was on the website.
The one that was, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. There's no changes to it.
There's no changes since
Okay.
March 5th, I think.
All
That's,
right.
that's the one that was on there.
Yeah, because they looked the same to me and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, yeah. So the map, our actual accepted map right now is nothing but the USDA soils. So it's the surveys in a lot of places are. I just wanted to bring that up for an example, but they're way different in some areas. They're even more different than that in a few areas. So I guess all I'm really asking for is to set a public hearing on this for the April meeting, and I already know we're going to have something else on the agenda for April. So.
Okay. All right, so I move that we set the public hearing for the update of the wetland soils maps for the April 2021 meeting.
I'll second that since Bill doesn't seem to want to second anything.
I just agree with it all. That's all.
Okay. Motion is all in favor. Jane,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion carries.
Okay.
Okay, next. Applicant Richard Mellon, location Chapter Road, Assessor Map 143, Block 003, Lot 013. Activity construct new house within regulated area. And Jeremy sent us some paperwork on this.
Yeah, I don't know why my map's not coming up. Sorry, I'm just I'm on the map and it's giving me a problem opening up. But you guys have copies, right?
Yeah.
At least the electronic copies. Yeah, I don't know where the applicant is. He's supposed to be in the meeting. Nobody's in the waiting room, so. But for background on this, it was originally approved. This is actually the survey from 2005, or what's the date on it? 2000. Yes, 8/11/05. So this was actually approved already by the commission in 2005, and during the downturn of 08/09, the legislature automatically extended active permits during that time for a maximum. Well, you could have a maximum of 14 years on permits, and I didn't really dig into whether extensions were requested or anything else, but the maximum, even if all the extensions were requested, would have been 2019, the middle of 2019. So the permits definitely expired. So the applicant, I don't know why he's not here, is requesting a new permit for basically the same plans.
So, Jay, I remember this one. This was the one where they're between two streams, right? It's on the corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they had to have a, what was it that they had to be closer to the road than what the setback was for the zoning or for the neighborhood? I can't remember.
They couldn't be closer to the road because zoning has a 25-foot setback.
Right.
But the restrictions in the covenants required a 50.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so what did they do? Did they, I can't remember us accepting the plan. Did we have to?
Yeah, we must have. He combined what, 3 lots into 1.
Yeah. What happened is, as I understand it after reviewing the file, is 3 lots were combined to 2. You see former lot 1 and former lot 2 right on the corner. Those lots were combined to 2, and then he came to the commission with an application for 2 houses, which was denied. And then he brought suit for the denial and lost the court case, and was forced to combine the lots into 1. Even though you still see a lot line there, it's all combined in the records. I did pull the just for the, I didn't send it out, but just for the record, I pulled the deed, and all of these lots are combined into one lot. So he came back with a one house application and it was approved in 05.
Okay. So then we just have to approve it for exactly the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, we have to go through the regular process and do the significant activity determination and hold it until next month. But we're treating it like a new application, but it's an expired application that was already approved.
Okay. Let me see if I can
I
get
did send it to the engineer, city engineer, just to re-review it, but I told him it was a previous approval, so.
All right.
So it's not something you could treat as an agent, determination then? I mean, if it's kind of like we're just going to go through the motions if it's been approved before.
Yeah, the only reason why I brought it here is it is pretty tight to one of the water courses, so I'd rather have the commission approve it since it was their initial approval.
Fair enough.
Part of it was bringing it here and making sure nobody had any objections, but you could see on that one side, the grading's pretty close.
This was a totally contested, if I recall,
Yeah.
Site, but I think that it would constitute a taking, right? If we.
I think that was
Yeah.
I think that's what he was saying on
Yeah.
in the initial court
Yeah. I mean,
proceeding.
he didn't win, but
Right.
at this point it's one lot, and if he can't put a house there.
Basically, it was under common ownership, I think was the reason why he lost. Because he had the ability, he had the feasible and prudent alternative to combine the lots since he was the common owner.
Okay. So I move that we accept the application for Richard Mellon, Chestnut Hill Road, Assessor Map 143, Block 3, Lot 13, to construct new house within regulated area.
I'll second.
Second.
I saw that smile on your face.
You have to say whether it's significant activity too.
You take too long to second it.
Next time.
We want to modify that motion.
So
That it's not a significant
yeah,
activity.
it's not a significant activity.
Second, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All in favor, Jane,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Bill,
Hi.
aye. Motion carries. So next on the agenda is enforcement update.
So I think it was starting in December, either November or December. I just got in the habit of sending my spreadsheet out. If anybody has any, there shouldn't be anything all that surprising, but if anybody has any questions on anything specific, I do normally, even when something comes into compliance, I'll hold it for 6 months to make sure the property stays in compliance. So I do have a few on here that are actually compliant right now, but I'm just waiting to close it out.
What's going on with Whittlesey?
We'll they're doing all kinds of, they leave the property alone for a while, and then I go back there and there's a they'll take almost like a grader down the road, and they're kind of right along the water course down there.
Yeah, that was the horse pasture.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a kind of a waste area with a driveway going through it at this point.
Yeah, I remember he was before us for probably a half a year. And then I think his neighbor got too. Then we had his neighbor in here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's no, where do I have him for a status anyway on this? Oh, I have him on I have him on a hold. I don't even know. I didn't put a date on this. So I don't even know how long his hold is for. I'll have to look. But I did an agent approval for him to replace his septic, it was a septic replacement.
Mhm.
And while I was out there, of course, looking at the permit, I'm like, what is going on this property? So yeah, I sent him a violation notice, and he cleaned up a couple things, and then And then they dragged a grader through there like 3 months later. And
Does he have any horses down there?
now there might be some chickens. I think there's some chickens back there, but no horses.
Okay.
There used to be horses on the other side of the stream.
Well, no, that the whole reason why he was able to do the grading and clearing, cutting everything, because he wanted to have a couple of horses.
He was claiming an agricultural exemption.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
how this whole thing started back. I don't know, as long Jane, we're on the commission back then. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. I actually made him pull 2 junk cars out of there too, through zoning. But yeah, at least I got him to do something. But it's just one of those things where you get so far and I'm still not entirely comfortable like closing it, and then something happens where I'm definitely not closing it, and then I'm back there again.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's always kind of just enough to not be in compliance, but not enough to just to hammer him with violations.
Well, it was all an as of right because he had enough to, I guess, claim it was like a mini farm.
He had the 3 acres. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's, I probably won't close him at the end of the 6 months just because he's never really completely in compliance, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I guess next is agent determinations.
So all I had was the reapproval of, we had just last year, maybe August or July or August of last year, reapproved the Haynes site. And if we remember that site, there was a few pocket wetlands, but there was that one area where there was an intermittent water course that came down, and they were going to divert it all the way around the end of that blasting area. So O&G is working out a deal to purchase Haynes down the road. So they wanted to get everything aligned. So they were on the same approval. So they came back to get reapproved. Like O&G by itself doesn't actually have any regulated areas, but they wanted to, between zoning or between P&Z and wetlands, align their approvals. And when they did that, I'm gonna have to share one more time. I zoomed into the spot here.
Oh.
So I did this as an agent approval because you can see what they did with that area. They pulled back. You can see where it says intermittent water course there, right along the side. All this used to be way out here, and they actually pushed this water course over and diverted it around the end of this thing where they pulled back all the grading there. So they're not actually touching the intermittent water courses, but they're still in the regulated area. So since we had already approved that and they were impacting wetlands less, I just did it as an agent approval.
Yeah, I think I talked to you about this one.
Yeah, I think I called you right before I just like to make sure on those because they're commission approvals.
Right.
Okay, I gotta move this again. Hang on. All right, stop sharing. There we go.
All right, next is correspondence.
I lost my agenda. It's in this pile. There we go. All right, so we have our notice of the intent to file for that big solar project. That's mostly in Litchfield, but just a portion of it is kind of in one field up there off Rossi Road. But it encompasses over 200 acres, not the entire 200 acres, but parts of a 200 acre property. I think everybody got a scan of it.
I did some searching on the internet, and I found it curious that the owner of the property is on the board of directors of the solar company.
If which person is?
It means anything,
Oh,
but
the owner of the property, yeah.
the owner
So-
of the property.
So I think owner of the property is Silicon Ranch Corporation,
Yeah.
which is actually part of the company that's developing the panels. They
Okay,
specifically bought it for that. So yeah, it
okay.
wouldn't surprise me. That was
Yeah, I found out
their
that
initial purpose.
they were on the board of directors. for
Yeah.
the Solar company.
And they own that for, I don't know if I think they might have sold it, but they own that historic house that was along Highland Avenue too. And there was
There are quite a bit of development on both sides of that property. I checked it up on a Google map.
Mhm.
And very nice homes, maybe on half an acre or an acre. And just wondering how those people feel about having this in their backyard.
I'm there.
My main, I'm mainly concerned about whether or not there's any biodiversity there, or if it has any negative impact on the environment. There's two waterways going through it,
Yeah.
and you had said there's quite a bit of wetlands there.
Yeah, there's a lot of wetlands. You can see there's an overview sheet if you have do you have the hard copies?
I just have them in the PDF, and I don't have the printer hooked up, so.
Okay, well, one of those, if you want, even when we're off the meeting, if you want, there's one page that's like a whole overview, and you can see all the wetlands that run
Yeah,
run through it.
yes, I have looked at it.
Mm.
And that's what made me go to the internet to find out some more information. And I guess I'm basically interested because I work with the Housatonic Valley Association, and we were involved with a project in New Milford
Mhm.
that wanted to take the trees down on Candlewood Mountain to put in a solar project. It was eventually voted down.
View shed issues.
I'm sorry.
Like the view shed, the views.
Well, they were going to cut a lot of trees on Candlewood Mountain. That's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
The town didn't want it. The people didn't want it. And HCAVA got involved in it. And I think they were also found that there was some sort of creature that, well, I forgot what you call them, endangered species.
Yeah. I did look at the Natural
National
Diversity Database, and there isn't any records up there, but.
And the other thing I saw on the internet while I was looking is that the solar panels can affect algae, and sometimes negatively. And I think I read something about it getting into the water,
Okay.
drinking water. So, I'd be concerned about those kind of things. Otherwise, it's a wide open area. There doesn't look like there's much vegetation as trees.
Yeah.
But,
My concern, well, part of my concern that we discussed, and we actually discussed this at conservation the other day, was a lot of this is prime agricultural soil too, and of course they're gonna.
Yes.
This is the best places for solar. So you got to weigh the. I mean, it's not like they're not sticking a building on it, but they are taking up prime ag soils.
yes,
But then on the flip side, you have green energy. So I mean, what's better? Which one's better than the other? That's
it's
from a
about-
conservation standpoint anyway.
Yeah. So what I would like to know when the public hearing is held,
Yeah.
if you let us know when it is coming up, that probably won't be maybe for a few months, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, well, this was dated February 2nd, but still, it's not a quick process.
It's
Okay.
astonishing how big this is.
Yeah,
Yes, 216 acres, I think.
that's the size of the property. I mean, it's not, it's spread out and
I just
kind of
looking at
chunks.
the number of panels, it's just astonishing.
Yeah. It's almost 20 gigs, 20 gigawatts. 20, wait, or is it a megawatt? I don't know.
Well, it'd be gigawatt, right?
What am I saying? What am I saying here? Megawatts, 19.8 megawatts.
But Deep also has to review this, don't they?
They have to issue the permit for it because it's siting council jurisdiction. So they do all the siting council
Right.
permits.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I think Bill might know this, but I think some of this stuff falls under, depending on the project, will fall under a deep general permit too, but probably nothing this size.
So we as a commission don't have to review this. for
No,
what-
we don't have jurisdiction,
Oh. It's in
but
Torrington.
we can weigh in individually or as a commission to the citing counselor to deep if
All
we
right.
want to go that way.
If you can just keep us advised as to when the public hearing is going to be and how we can access it, maybe if you can find that out.
Yes, I'll do that.
Do
Thank
we
you.
have an opinion as a commission?
Yes,
Yeah, I
he's-
mean, at least for what we're responsible for, which is which is Torrington. I mean, not the whole project's not in Torrington, but a portion of it is.
Most of it is in Torrington, isn't it?
It's just it's actually just one of the fields, I think, off Rossi Road. A lot of them are on the other side of the road, which is in Litchfield.
No, that's-
I just meant specifically, do we, like what do the members think about it?
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking procedurally.
Yeah, I know.
I guess I must have not been looking at the map correctly on Google because I thought the majority of the project was in Torrington.
I keep burying things that I want to look at.
Because in Litchfield, it's kind of just behind DeCapo's restaurant, and they're close to the Torrington line.
So the
They might be in
This-
Torrington still.
city line. It might be half and half.
Okay,
Yeah, it might be half and half. Because as soon as Rossi Road turns into town, turns into Town Farm Road, you're in
Yeah.
Litchfield. So all those fields up, a few of those fields up Town Farm Road are part of it too. Yeah, it's probably half and half.
all right.
Was there one sent in our packet, the map? Or not?
No,
What's that? Sorry.
You can get it from the website, the
Well-
commission's website.
Lona scanned them. Yeah, Lona scanned them in because they were part of our agenda.
Oh, okay.
I think in her email that she sent to us, she has a link to the website that has all those papers for this meeting.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot, and it's part of this too. Is I'm looking at this, and there's. Oh no, never mind. I thought that was fencing. It says limits of disturbance. Is that? Yeah, it is. The whole thing is going to be surrounded by fencing too, which is wildlife barriers and everything else. So
Right, that's true.
for that big of an area, keep the bears out of my yard.
Which road do you live on?
Notting Hill Gate. It's right down the hill. Won't stop the birds.
Right. Really won't stop. Well, how high is the fencing gonna be?
It's if it's anything like the one that's on the one that's at the Catholic cemetery there. I think that's only a 6-foot high fence. Might be 7, but it's not a really high fence. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I keep losing things. Okay.
these kind of sites tend to generate a lot of stormwater runoff. That's like usually a concern with them,
Yeah. Yeah, and
especially when they're being constructed. They're usually a mess because all that land is just like open, torn up and open as they put the footings in and stuff for the panels. So,
and I said the other day, I have no problem going and doing my own inspections up in these places too, to make sure Deep's keeping up.
Yeah.
They usually have projects this size, somebody's usually designated as a clerk of the works or an inspector, so
Yep.
hopefully they're keeping up.
I think another thing is that they have to come in and clean the solar panels every once in a while, and they use chemicals to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that, maybe what we want to do is each look at the, take a look at the plans. And then perhaps at the next meeting, we can discuss any concerns and draft a letter.
They are gonna be required to give us full plans too.
Okay,
So we,
so I just
we
think.
may
that
have a big
register-
box with plans in them.
I just think that we should register any of our concerns for the
Mhm.
public hearing.
Right.
So you guys want to, if you want to, I mean, I could put my own concerns together, but if you have anything, if you want to fire me off emails, I can, you know, coalesce them into one,
Okay.
maybe one document that makes sense. If we want to do it as a commission, if we want to comment as a commission.
Yes, and that's the other thing to determine maybe next
I
month.
think it would be more acceptable coming from the commission than
Mhm.
rather an individual,
Great.
because we're supposed to at least know something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, our area is wetlands and water courses. So if we think there's something that's gonna like runoff or any kind of chemicals or anything like that that's gonna impact, then we have to let at least Deep know our concerns.
Right, and then I think maybe as a conservation commission, and talk about issues with the fence and the
Blocking
wildlife and whether they have a corridor or not. through
Right.
that area.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
At least make them address it. If you
Yep.
know, make them talk about it.
Yep.
If
Mhm.
anything.
Well, the thing is I'm sure the public is gonna come. The public is gonna come and talk about what they don't like. But, my experience with the public hearings is, they might have a good gut feeling that something isn't really gonna be all that great for their area, but they don't have the right ammunition necessarily.
Right.
So,
We're gonna hear from they're gonna hear, well, luckily we're not on the end of it, but they're gonna hear from the group from Notting, from my subdivision again.
okay.
The same group. So
And I'm sure Litchfield's going to have something to say about this too.
yeah. Yep.
Maybe we want to touch base with their commission.
Yeah, I mean, I could call their
And see what their
city
feelings
hall,
are
town
on
hall
it,
anyway.
and maybe we can then both send our report to that
Yeah.
writing council or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to their planner at all, so I should at least reach out and see what their initial feelings are anyway.
Okay,
Right.
Maybe they don't have any.
that would be shocking.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, next is CT application for pesticides in state waters, Torrington Farms Pond, Trotter's Way.
Yeah, I think they do an annual treatment up there to the pond, and they're just required under their applications to notify us. I mean, they're approved aquatic pesticides, so I don't know that I've got any particulars concerns, unless somebody else does.
Approved aquatic insecticides.
I don't know if are they insecticides or herbicides. Oh, it says pesticides, so
Besides,
yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about this at another meeting.
Probably the people that don't want to see the mosquitoes at their house up at fancy Trotter's Way.
Okay, next is adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jane?
Aye.
Aye. Bill?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Okay, motion carries.
Wonderful.
All right.
I like
Thank you,
it.
everybody.
We have short meetings each month.
I'll
That
so
happened. Wouldn't be
keep
bad.
everybody updated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
See you next month.